Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are having a really good summer so far, and I really feel like the past couple months there have been so many great tags going around, and I've had a hard time choosing which ones I want to participate in because I want to participate in all of them. It's just that my time is pretty limited, so I came across this one the other day from Robin's Reflections. She did a response to the original poster, who is Dragonfly Dilly, and it's hashtag what made me do it tag, all about what influenced us to bring in certain decks. And there are 10 prompts, with the last prompt being a make your own, and I have quite the lineup here beside me, so why don't we just hop right into it. The first prompt is TarotTube made me do it. And while this category is very broad because TarotTube makes me buy a lot of decks, I do like the angle that Robin took in that her very first one. And so I thought I would follow suit on that. And for that, it was the Sasarai Beto Tarot, and this was literally the very beginning of my tarot journey. I actually purchased this one in tandem with a classic RWS, and I studied them side by side. So this was my very first foray into TarotTube, I guess. I was doing a lot of research about beginner decks, what I should choose, and at the time, this was brand new, I believe, to the world. The Kickstarter had already ended, so when I came across this deck, someone mentioned that there were still copies being sold, and so I got a copy. This is not my original copy, but I did have one with the original glossy cardstock like this one has. Yeah, I went from there. So this will always be a very treasured deck in my collection, just for the fact that it literally was the first deck, and an indie one on top of that, that I was really influenced by TarotTube to purchase. I mean, this is back when I was solely just an observer on TarotTube, and I might have commented here and there, but this was being featured pretty much everywhere, and everyone is very affectionate towards it, so that kind of drew me in, how they talked about it, how they spoke about it, and the imagery itself is very emotive, and I connect with that in a lot of ways. So I thought, hey, that might help me learn the tarot a little bit more, and I guess in a sense it did, but it also complicated things, so that's a story for another time, another video. But yes, the very first prompt, TarotTube made me do it. Very first one, Sasarai Beto Tarot. The second prompt is My Heart Made Me Do It, and as I was sitting down and looking at all of my decks, this one really jumped out to me, and I would say kind of leads this prompt. There are many that could fit here, but yeah, this one, the Afro Goddess Tarot Arcanas, really is a heart-based purchase, and it's really hard to explain. I saw this on TarotTube when it was an indie deck by the creator, and the cards size is much larger on the indie one. I just felt like at the time that this deck needed to get into the hands of others more imminently than my own. And when I saw that it was coming out mass market, I was so elated with joy, because really wanted this deck. It was a heart deck for sure. And I have a lot going on, which I guess is no excuse, to be fair, but this is a deck that I really want to sit down with and connect with a slower pace, because something in my heart just says that this deck has a message and lesson for me over time, and it's very, I don't know, special in that way. There are times where decks come to me, or I see them out in the wild, and they do draw me in, and I feel a connected purpose. And I feel this way with this deck. There's a reason why I'm feeling very drawn to it, and so therefore I know that it has something to teach me. And so this was a very heart chakra, heart connection with this deck. Although the indie one is super beautiful, I think they did an absolutely fantastic job. This is a US Games deck, but the packaging, the cardstock has like a sheen to them on the face of the cards. On the back, of course, the iconic backs, they're so gorgeous, of the world here with the foiling. There's some slight hollow to the face of the cards. I just think they did a really nice job. I do like the smaller card size. Yeah, it's smaller than standard tarot. I don't have well, maybe I do. Maybe I do. My card of the month here, my tarot card of the month. So it is just about the same width, maybe a hair less on the width there, but height wise, it is a lot shorter. And for someone like me who has smaller hands, This deck has been really great to handle, and I've just been shuffling it and flipping through the imagery, but I haven't really used it in a reading yet. But we have a time and a place and a purpose, and I'm just kind of waiting for when that time is right, and both me and the deck will know. The next prompt is My Head Made Me Do It. So I chose this deck because it is one that I thought about for a very long time before bringing into my collection. And it might seem a little silly because it is none other than the Fountain Tarot. The Fountain Tarot has been around for a really long time, like the Kim Kranz Wild Unknown kind of era, where personalized and different styles of artwork and decks really started to kind of branch out, in my opinion. The Fountain Tarot obviously is a very tried and true and well-known deck in the tarot community. I had watched a ton of reviews on this deck, like one after the other, and all of them, most of them I will say, they just felt like it was kind of cold, because this uses cooler tones throughout the color palette of the deck. It's a cool toned deck. I let that get to my head. So I kept seeing it and I was really drawn to the artwork, but the words of it's cold and it's, you know, distant and, you know, all of this stuff kind of really led me astray from it until one day I saw it on Tarot Marketplace. Someone was reselling one of their copies and I was like, you know what, let me give this a shot. And so I went ahead and I got it, and talk about instant connection since the moment I had it in my hands. This is a really special deck to me. It just feels very resonant with me as a person. I feel like sometimes the Fountain Tarot is really misunderstood. I kind of, you know, grew up and have gone through life feeling that way, I guess. So we have that bond and connection with one another, which I really appreciate. And I love the silver edging. I think that gold edging is kind of overdone. And so I ultra appreciated the quality of the edging. Yeah, and just the fact that it was kind of like a trailblazer in a way, or within that first like true group of decks that really paved the way to all the options that we have now. Also, this High Priestess reminds me slightly of Lady Gaga, but I think that's really fitting for the High Priestess. But anyway, I really sat on this and thought about it for a long time and then just decided to give it a try. The next prompt is The Title Made Me Do It. And this one is a recent acquisition, and it literally was only because of the title, and that is the World of Warcraft Tarot. And as soon as I saw this out in the wild at Barnes & Noble, I was like, yep, I'm getting that because I love World of Warcraft. And so it was just kind of a no-brainer at that point. I saw it was Insight Editions, and I know they have corrected many decks ago the use of pips. I know that was a piece of contention with many people, because if you're going to do like pop culture type decks, then I think, you know, people are very emotionally tied to it and, you know, woven in with nostalgia, depending on what it is. And they want to see the artwork throughout the whole deck to fully immerse back into that world and enjoy it. And so this was definitely just because of the title and it's World of Warcraft, and I was like, yep, just doing it. And I didn't even look at the images. I didn't look online. I saw it on Mother's Day in Barnes & Noble and just decided to pick it up. And yeah, I've been enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun, but definitely a true case of The Title Made Me Do It. The next prompt is The Artwork Made Me Do It. And this is a really tough prompt because I'm very artwork driven. If I can look at the artwork and connect with it, and almost my collection to me is like a mini gallery of art, and all the styles are so different, and I love that fact. And each deck is like its own mini, you know, set of art pieces. So this prompt was really difficult, but I tried not to overthink it. And this is the one where that was definitely through and through the case. And that is the Cosmic Seeker Tarot. I saw this on Etsy, and it was originally a Kickstarter. And what really got me is the theme of red at first glance, because I just feel like red is an underutilized color in tarot decks. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like red isn't really that common. And when it is used, it's kind of more with black and red, and it's kind of like gothic-y, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But I just really liked the fantasy type quality of the artwork. Immerses me into this world here. I really appreciated that quality of the art, and the fact that I really don't have any decks specifically truly fantasy based. Maybe here and there, it's like one of the smaller categories, I guess, in my collection. But this felt like a storybook as well. Like you could read about this. This is a fantasy series, Sarah J. Maas wrote, you know, that kind of thing. And it really immersed me in this whole world. And I love how it's borderless in a way, but bordered at the same time with these thin lines. I think that's wonderful. It's like the best of both, in my opinion. I like how the artwork goes out over the border. So like the border isn't intrusive, I guess, is what I'm trying to say to your experience of this. This just reminds me of the Game of Thrones. I don't know, I'm pulled in many Aslan a little bit. Yeah, the artwork really pulled me in. I mean, this magician. The next prompt is the hype made me do it. And truly, this is probably the one deck that I have currently that I really fell into that. And it's this one, the Da Vinci Oracle. It's in, is it French? I don't know. But it's this oracle that a few months ago was really going around on a bunch of different channels, and for good reason. Like these are the backs. So it's a very unique, I guess, art. It takes like classic and puts twists on it, makes it a little bit more grungy and gothic, edgy for sure, and don't really have anything like it. I was just very drawn in by the fact that everyone was getting this, and it's very unique to me in my collection. I don't have anything like this, or didn't at the time. Even though it was in a different language, I was like, I'm not going to let that stop me. We have translation devices now where it's easy enough to do, but definitely the hype made me click purchase without much research. I saw a couple of channels feature this, and then I purchased it, and then that seemed to like open the floodgates of more videos popping up, because technology just knows everything nowadays, which, you know, is scary. But anyway, yeah, I fell down the hype rabbit hole with this, and honestly, I have not worked with it a bunch. When I first got it, I pulled a couple cards, and then it's kind of been sitting on the shelf since. I need to find the right pair for this. I don't think I would, or I don't feel like it wants to be worked with alone at this point. So still searching for some pairs for this. Yeah, I haven't gotten too much use out of it, which is a little bit of a bummer because it's a gorgeous deck and it's packaged nicely. And I do think that they were coming out with an English version. I'm not too sure if it's out already, but this is the version that I have. The next prompt is My Dark Side Made Me Do It. And this one kind of stumped me a little bit. I mean, yes, we all have our dark or shadow side, but I really tried to think about, okay, if there was a little angel and devil sitting on my shoulders and the devil convinced me to just purchase this, it would be Serpent and the Peacock because of the medieval artwork. And not that really wasn't like, I don't know, I hate to say that's not my style, because I'm really open to all different types of art styles and decks, but it is more on the darker side, I will say, I think, in my opinion. But it has like a comical lens when I use it, at least. There's like a funny side to this deck, and that really makes it fun to use. I really love the artwork and the curation and the choices that were made. I don't know, yeah, definitely this is the deck that my dark side made me do it. I have the art version, which is borderless, which I really love. I think it really plays a factor in the experience of this deck. It's just quirky, it's pretty chatty, it has a lot to say. Yeah, so I don't know, I enjoyed this deck a lot. It's fun to use. The next prompt is My Inner Child Made Me Do It. And up until a couple months ago, I didn't really have a deck that would have really truly fit this prompt, but I do, luckily. And that is Forest Spirit Imprint Tarot. And just the way that this is organized, the fact that it is this girl's story, she's in every card or featured, it is her journey. Just the way the art is, it just screams childhood. The colors, just everything about it really spoke to that inner me. This deck feels shy. I don't know how to really explain that other than, I don't know, it feels like me. It emulates qualities of me. They're mirrored between me and this deck, so it really spoke to me, and I would like to use it for inner child work. I just haven't broached that just yet. as you know, I've got a lot going on in my studies and my personal practice and also just life in general. But definitely when me and the deck are ready, I will be using this for inner child work, and I think it will be perfect for it because it doesn't shy away from the tougher cards, but I feel like it provides like a lesson view of it almost, which, you know, when we are guiding and teaching our children, that's kind of what the method we take. So I don't know, my inner child deck. The next prompt is My Impulse Made Me Do It. And truly based on the title, so this could have worked for that prompt, and the artwork, which could have worked for that prompt, but the combination of how it happened, and I instantly bought it without much thought, really. I saw a couple and I was like, yep, buying today. Added to cart. That is Beauty of Bones Tarot. This was on Etsy, or I found it on Etsy. I love the backs. I love the spot gloss on the backs. I love the size. It's maybe a hair bigger than the Afro Goddess Tarot, but it's a smaller size than standard tarot, which is great for me. It has like a rose gold edging, which I'm neither here or there about, but it adds a nice flash of color to it. I don't know, I just thought that this looked super unique. I don't have anything like it. That's kind of, I guess, what drives me when I see something out there. Some people might be the opposite. They like to collect certain styles. I know there's a lot of people out there who like collage, and they want to get all the collage, or they're attracted to that art style, so they have a lot of collage. For me, it's like I will get collage decks because I do like them too, and I like different types of collage styles. But when something is truly different from anything I own, I'm like instantly attracted to or pulled into that deck, and this was the case. I don't know, it's just different and I like it. And I haven't used it a ton, but it's really beautiful to look through. And I don't know, I do feel that I want to use this closer to the fall season, which I'm not usually seasonally based, but once in a while I am, and that's okay. So I will definitely be pulling this out closer to fall, Halloween. And then the last prompt is the Make Your Own, and Robin had a really good one. And I almost was like, I want to do that too, but I thought about this for a while, and the prompt that I'm making is the Oracle deck made me do it, a purchase based on an Oracle deck that I have that influenced me getting the deck. For this, I do have two answers, and I am answering them in pairs. So the first pair I have is I owned the Mystical Shaman. This was my first deck ever in the realm of cartomancy and Oracle Tarot and all of that goodness. And I was looking to branch out from this deck. I wanted something a little bit softer, more straightforward, because if you aren't knowledgeable about shamanism, and if you are brand new to reading cards like I was, then this deck was pretty difficult to start with. And I wanted something that was a little more straightforward, a little simpler. And so this one influenced me to kind of go searching. And I came across the Earth Magic Oracle cards, which is also a deck that has been around forever and a day. And this is a truly treasured deck in my collection. I will never get rid of it. I think it's very straightforward. The image is the title, and then it has an extra keyword here, and then the guidebook is just really great. I think Stephen D. Farmer did a wonderful job if he did the writing of the guidebook. It gives you a lot to think about, it explains a lot, but it leaves things kind of a little open-ended for you at the end after explaining it, which I really appreciate. But yeah, it's straightforward. It is what it is. Lake and stillness. Like, I know all of us can literally hear the wind, feel the stillness in this picture, and almost put ourselves there. This was definitely a great step in my card reading journey because it made life a little bit easier to dip my toe in, and it encouraged me to keep going, whereas I felt like almost discouraged by this one. Yeah, I had a really hard time with it until one day, and I think time and experience definitely helped, but one day I just started to kind of get it. But yeah, this Oracle deck led to this Oracle deck. And then the second pair I have here is I had pre-ordered the Seasons of the Witch Ostara Oracle, and the deck that it made me buy pretty much instantly after I pre-ordered this. I knew this one was coming out. This is the one out of all of the whole collection that I was really interested in, drawn to, pulled to. I was born within Ostara, the season, so I don't know, it just felt like I connected with it a little bit more on a personal level. And I was like, you know what? I would really love a pair for this. And while I do have a lovely collection of decks, and there would have been great matches for this, I thought about this deck instantly, the Ostara Tarot. because it is Ostara based, and it is a deck that I had been sitting on for a long time. This one is also no stranger to the community. It has been around for a long time. I don't know, and I had always been drawn to it whenever someone would show it on their channel, feature it. The backs are absolutely beautiful. Again, silver gilding, the borderless bordered type cards, and I was really ready to get this one. I was like, okay, enough oogling at it, putting it in your cart and never purchasing it. You're like, I just knew I would use it, so I don't know why it took me so long to purchase it. But definitely it was perpetuated by this pre-order because I knew I wanted this for sure and I had pre-ordered it. So I was like, you know what, I might as well finally get the Ostara Tarot. And of course I did work with these together, and I work this on its own and this on its own. I do adore the artwork. I don't think it's, you know, tied to just Ostara for me. Again, this is a deck that, I don't know, the artwork just immerses me. I like that it's created by 4 different artists, but somehow, even though the artwork is pretty different, like the styles, they're pretty different. I don't know, it just meshes together really well. I mean, look at that Fool. I love that Fool. This is definitely a case where this Oracle deck made me do it. Made me buy the tarot. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Dragonfly Dilly for creating this tag. I really think you guys should check out their channel. It's a really sweet channel. I've enjoyed watching their videos and hearing their perspective, and I'm really glad that they made this tag. Go please support them, show them some love. It's a smaller channel, but I just really love the channel over there, and like I said, there's a lot of really great tags going around, and I want to do them all, but you know, it's really hard to, but I definitely wanted to do this one. I think it's a really unique topic, and I feel like I got to show some of my decks that I haven't really shown in a while or don't really talk about, and it was fun to think about all the different prompts. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you, again, are having a great summer, and until next time, see you around.